Well, tonight, two popular burger restaurants top the dirty dining list. Plus, a restaurant owner who gets irate when asked about the dead rodent found in a restaurant.
Not all burgers are created equal. Some chains hand you a masterpiece on a toasted bun. Others hand you a lukewarm hockey puck and charge $12 for the privilege. In 2026, the gap between the best and the worst has never been wider. Closures are happening, bankruptcies are happening, and one chain is quietly doing everything right while everyone else scrambles. These are 16 American burger chains, ranked from worst to best. Buckle up. Number 16, Jack in the Box. Let's start at the bottom, and it is not even a close call. Jack in the Box has been flipping burgers since 1951, 75 years of operation. That is a legacy most chains would kill for. And yet in 2026, the chain is in full-on crisis mode, and no anniversary celebration can paper over the numbers. In the first quarter of 2026, same-store sales dropped 6.7%. System-wide sales fell 7.1%. The CEO, Lance Tucker, stood in front of investors and talked about simplifying the business and building a stronger foundation, which is executive speak for "we are in serious trouble." The chain burned through a Jack-on-track restructuring plan that involved closing between 150 and 200 locations by mid-2026. But the closures are not even the most damning part. Customer satisfaction scores have cratered. Reviews across Yelp and Google consistently flag the same three problems: subpar service, overpriced menu items, and food quality that simply does not match what you are paying. For a chain that built its identity on being the fun, late-night, anything-goes option, Jack in the Box has become the place people drive past on the way to somewhere better. When you spend $12 on a drive-thru burger and leave disappointed every single time, the habit breaks fast. The only real question is whether Jack on Track saves them, or whether it is just the slow dismantling of a brand that lost the plot entirely. And the answer will determine whether they are still on this list next year. But if Jack in the Box is the worst, our next chain proves that going bankrupt does not automatically mean you are out of the game. Number 15 had a spectacular collapse, and somehow it is still standing. Number 15, BurgerFi. BurgerFi came onto the scene with a genuinely compelling pitch. Better beef, no hormones, no steroids, no antibiotics. A fast casual experience that was supposed to make you feel good about where your burger came from. The pitch worked for a while. Then came 2024, and BurgerFi filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The collapse was brutal and swift. Locations shuttered with little warning. The brand that was supposed to be the clean alternative to fast food could not keep its own financial house in order. Here is what actually happened. BurgerFi had expanded aggressively, acquired Anthony's coal-fired pizza in a deal that stretched their finances dangerously thin, then got hammered by inflation and declining consumer traffic all at once. Premium pricing that was supposed to reflect premium ingredients started feeling like a bad joke when individual locations became wildly inconsistent. In 2025 and into 2026, some locations quietly reopened under new ownership, with signs on the door promising, "Your favorite burgers are coming back." That optimism is admirable. But a brand that filed for bankruptcy, closed dozens of locations, and still has not figured out consistent operations is not one you should rush back to. The beef quality was always BurgerFi's best asset. If new ownership can fix operations and bring the price back to reality, there is a version of this story where they climb the list. Right now, they are still rebuilding trust they have not yet earned back. If you are the kind of person who refuses to let corporate greed and bad management ruin your burger experience, hit that like button right now and subscribe also, because the story of how good chains go bad is exactly what we are exposing today, one chain at a time. BurgerFi went bankrupt and is clawing its way back. But our next chain never went bankrupt. They just made a business decision so tone-deaf, it permanently damaged how America sees them. Number 14. Hardee's has been nursing an identity crisis for decades, and in 2026 it shows. On paper, Hardee's should be a contender. They built a reputation on big, thick, hand-breaded chicken and signature charbroiled burgers. The Monster Burger, the Thick Burger. These were not small ambitions, but between August and December of 2025 alone, 8 Hardee's locations across North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, and Pennsylvania permanently closed. More followed in early 2026. The parent company, CKE Restaurants, is privately held, which means they have zero obligation to report closures publicly. They just quietly pull the plug, and local communities find out when the lights go off. The core problem is value. Hardee's charges premium prices for a thoroughly average experience at most locations. The charbroiling that used to be a genuine point of difference is now background noise in a world where every chain claims better beef. And when customers weigh a $9 or $10 Hardee's burger against alternatives in the same parking lot, they are increasingly choosing the alternative. Hardee's is now the burger option you consider when nothing else is nearby. That is not a recipe for survival. Sister brand Carl's Jr. is fighting the same battle on the West Coast, and their shared corporate parent has not yet produced a strategy compelling enough to reverse either trajectory. Which brings us to number 13. Number 13, Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr. used to own a lane, the famous Star, the Western Bacon Cheeseburger. Ads that were controversial, but impossible to ignore. It was loud, confident, and unapologetically indulgent. In 2026, that confidence has curdled into something awkward. Prices have climbed to the point where Carl's Jr. ranks among the most expensive chains in the fast food burger category, according to multiple consumer surveys. A combo meal pushing past $14 or $15 is a tough sell when the quality does not match the price tag. Customers on Yelp and Reddit consistently flag the same issue. The food is fine, maybe good on a great day, but not $14 fine. The closures tell the same story. Locations shut down across the country throughout 2024 and 2025 with minimal fanfare. And the footprint is shrinking with no obvious reversal plan in sight. Part of the problem is identity. Carl's Jr. used to know exactly who it was talking to. Now it seems to be chasing every trend simultaneously, producing a bloated, unfocused menu. When you try to be everything, you risk being nothing. The underlying burger quality, when the kitchen is firing correctly, is genuinely decent. But decent when the kitchen is firing correctly is not a tagline that builds loyalty, and it is certainly not one that justifies the price. Our next chain has a similar quality ceiling, but they got there through a far messier story. Number 12, Burger King. Once upon a time, Burger King had a genuinely compelling argument. Flame-broiled, not fried. That smoky char on the Whopper was real and tasted different from everything else in the drive-thru lane. For a long time, that was enough. It is not enough anymore. In April of 2025, a Burger King franchisee called Consolidated Burger Holdings, which owned 57 locations across Florida and Georgia, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That is not a small thing. 57 restaurants, thousands of employees, and a legal dispute with corporate simmering since 2019, all collapsing at once. Burger King corporate has been running a reclaim the flame turnaround strategy, pouring money into remodels and menu improvements. Some of it is real. The Whopper still has fans. But execution at individual locations remains wildly inconsistent, and that inconsistency is quietly killing the brand. You can have the best burger in the world on paper and still lose customers if a visit feels like a lottery. Will the food be hot? Will the order be right? With Burger King in 2026, those answers are genuinely unpredictable, and unpredictability is a luxury customers will not pay for. The Whopper deserves better than the chain that sells it. And that might be the most damning sentence you can write about Burger King. Our next chain is not losing customers at all. In fact, they are confusing everyone by actually getting better, slowly. Number 11, McDonald's. This is where it gets complicated. McDonald's has over 44,000 locations worldwide. They are not going anywhere, but not going anywhere and doing well are two very different things. And in 2025 and into 2026, McDonald's has been doing one and not the other. The American Customer Satisfaction Index gave McDonald's a score of 70 out of 100 in recent surveys, the lowest of any major fast food chain measured. In early 2025, they posted their worst same-store U.S. sales decline since the pandemic. An E. coli outbreak tied to quarter-pounder toppings in late 2024 damaged customer trust in ways that took months to repair. And McDonald's prices have increased at roughly 3 times the rate of general inflation over the past decade. Here is the honest part, though. McDonald's is fighting back, and some of it is working. The Best Burger Initiative, launched in 2025, produced a noticeably juicier quarter pounder with caramelized baked-in onions and a softer, golden toasted bun. In April of 2026, they announced a revamped value menu with items priced at $3 or less, including a breakfast combo of an Egg McMuffin, hash browns, and coffee for $4. The fries are still iconic, breakfast is still reliable, and when McDonald's gets something right, they get it right at a scale no one else can match. McDonald's sits at 11 because of pricing and satisfaction scores, not food quality. If the value sticks, they will climb next year. Right now, a giant is in recovery mode. The golden arches are stumbling. Our next chain is stumbling for a completely different reason, one that has nothing to do with quality and everything to do with a promise they tried to break. Number 10. Wendy's. Wendy's built something real. Square patties, fresh, never frozen beef, the Frosty, the 4 for $4 deal. For years, Wendy's occupied an honest position in fast food. Same speed as the competition, visibly better ingredients. Then came February of 2024, and everything changed. The CEO got on an earnings call and announced that Wendy's was investing $30 million in AI-powered digital menu boards to test dynamic pricing. Translation: surge pricing. The same model that triples your Uber cost in the rain, applied to your bacon cheeseburger during the lunch rush when you are hungry and in a hurry. The internet's response was not subtle. It was a Category 5 hurricane of consumer rage. Wendy's scrambled into damage control, claiming the boards were meant to offer discounts during slow periods. Nobody believed them. You do not spend $30 million on AI menu infrastructure just to hand out discounts. Beyond the pricing disaster, Wendy's revealed plans to close up to 350 U.S. restaurants in 2026, citing declining traffic and falling sales. 350 locations is not a minor portfolio adjustment. It is a signal that something fundamental is broken between the brand and its customers. The Dave's single is still a genuinely solid burger. But trust, once broken the way Wendy's broke it in 2024, does not come back easily. Wendy's showed customers exactly what they wanted to do to them, given the chance. Our next chain never pulled a stunt like that. They just quietly priced themselves into mediocrity. Number 9. Smashburger. Smashburger had a perfect idea at exactly the right moment. The Smashburger technique, pressing beef hard onto a screaming hot griddle to create crispy, lacy edges and a deeply caramelized crust, was genuinely revelatory when Smashburger rolled it out. For a few years, it felt like they were going to change everything. Then everyone copied them. And Smashburger's prices went up, and the magic started to fade. A full Smashburger meal in 2026 regularly runs past $20. Reddit users who were once evangelists for the chain are now posting things like, "Ate a Smashburger today. It cost me $21," with a tone that is less celebratory and more bewildered. The technique is everywhere now, from local diners to food trucks to your neighbor's backyard grill. Smashburger no longer has exclusivity on their best idea. The food is still good. The classic smash is still a better burger than most of what you will find in a standard fast food lane. But better than fast food, at fast casual prices, in a market where Culver's and In-N-Out exist, is an increasingly hard argument to make. Smashburger sits here because the product is real, but the value proposition has eroded. They invented a movement and the movement outgrew them. The smash trend is everywhere now. But our next chain figured out something the trend chasers never did. Consistency is worth more than novelty. Number 8. Shake Shack. Shake Shack is genuinely delicious. Let us get that out of the way immediately. The Shack burger is built on a proprietary Pat LaFrida beef blend served on a Martin's potato roll. In blind taste tests, chefs consistently rank it near the top of any fast food burger comparison. But a full Shake Shack meal in 2026, a double cheeseburger, fries, and a milkshake, runs well past $22 for one person. For a family of 4, you are approaching $100. At a counter service restaurant where you bus your own table, that math is hard to defend, and an increasing number of customers are refusing to do it. Shake Shack's stock has taken hits as investors slowly realized there is a hard ceiling on how many Americans will pay premium restaurant prices for food served in a paper bag. The brand is expanding aggressively in 2026, billed as their biggest opening year ever, but growth does not fix the fundamental tension between price and format. Here is the honest truth. If you accept the pricing, Shake Shack is absolutely A-tier. The burger is that good. But compared value per dollar against In-N-Out or Culver's, Shake Shack loses that conversation badly. Quality exceptional, value story almost impossible to defend. Shake Shack wins on quality but loses on value. Our next chain charges a fair price and still somehow flies under the radar of most people outside its home region. Number 7. Steak 'n Shake. Here is a chain that barely gets the credit it deserves, and that is a genuine oversight. Steak 'n Shake has been operating since 1934, over 90 years, and in a 2025 national fast food burger competition, it finished second overall, ahead of Shake Shack, Tucker's Onion Burger, and Habit Burger and Grill. Second place against that field, at 90+ years old. That is not a fluke. The steak burger is thin and crispy in a way that creates a completely different texture from what most chains are doing. The Frisco Melt is underrated. The hand-dipped milkshakes are legitimately excellent. And the pricing is reasonable, which is increasingly rare in the burger space. The chain is not without problems. Reddit users have flagged inconsistent quality across locations. The shift from table service to kiosk ordering has drawn real complaints from longtime fans who loved the diner experience. But on Is the Burger Good? The answer is a clear yes. On Does it represent fair value? Also yes. In 2026, those two answers together are rarer than they should be. Steak 'n Shake is your underrated second-place finisher. But number 6 took everything people love about a regional chain and built something quietly unstoppable with it. If you want to keep us exposing what the food industry does not want you to know, subscribe right now and drop your go-to burger order in the comments below. Let's keep going. Number 6. The Habit Burger Grill. The Habit Burger Grill might be the most underappreciated chain in America right now, and that is saying something in a field that includes Culver's. The char burger is the main event. Char-grilled over an open flame, not flash-fried, not smashed on a flat top, but actually cooked over fire the way a backyard burger should be. That smoke is real. That char is real. Yelp's 2025 national fast food rankings put the Habit near the top, and regular customers already knew why. The price point is honest, not cheap, but honest, and the quality justifies what you pay. There is no dynamic pricing scheme here, no viral outrage moment, no bankruptcy filing. Just a chain that quietly figured out how to cook a burger correctly and kept doing it. Owned by Yum Brands, the Habit has been expanding steadily, without the self-destructive overexpansion that has hurt chains all over this list. Controlled growth, consistent execution. A novel concept in 2026, apparently. The only weakness is reach. Most Americans still cannot find one, and that is genuinely their loss. If you live near a Habit Burger, you already know. If you do not, plan your next road trip accordingly. The Habit is the secret. But our next chain is a regional institution so beloved it has earned something close to religious devotion. Number 5. Whataburger. If you grew up in Texas or across the South, this ranking feels obvious. If you did not, allow us to explain what you have been missing. Whataburger has been operating since 1950, and it has spent most of those 76 years doing one thing: making a big, made-to-order burger on a 5-inch toasted bun with fresh toppings and enough customization options to satisfy nearly any preference. The Whataburger patty melt alone, 2 beef patties, Monterey Jack cheese, grilled onions, and creamy pepper dressing on Texas toast, is one of the better things available at any fast food counter in the country. Whataburger also earned the designation of healthiest burger at a major American chain in a recent nutritional analysis, which surprised a lot of people and pleased nobody's cardiologist. But there it is. The chain is now expanding beyond its southern stronghold, with new locations opening through the Nashville area and other markets in 2025 and 2026. The welcome is warm everywhere they go. The honest critique is that Whataburger's prices have crept into the $12 to $16 range for a full meal, and customers are starting to ask whether the value still holds. It still does, but it is worth watching. Whataburger is a regional king going national. But our top 4 are in a different conversation entirely. Number 4. Five Guys. Five Guys has a problem, and it is entirely self-inflicted. The burger itself is exceptional. Fresh, never frozen beef, cooked to order, with a nearly absurd number of free toppings, from jalapenos to A1 sauce to grilled mushrooms. The Cajun fries are addictive. The peanut oil frying gives everything a slightly nutty richness. As a pure food product, Five Guys is about as good as fast food gets, but a full meal in 2026 costs close to $21. A bacon cheeseburger alone runs over $11 in most markets. That puts Five Guys in direct competition with actual sit-down restaurants, and in that comparison, the paper bag, the bare-bones cafeteria setup, and the bucket of peanuts on the counter start to feel a little hard to justify. The American Customer Satisfaction Index dropped 4 points for Five Guys in 2025. The food has not gotten worse. The value proposition simply has not kept pace with the price increases. Five Guys lands at number 4 because the product is genuinely outstanding. But it used to be number 1 on lists like this, and it is not anymore. That is entirely a self-inflicted wound. Five Guys is excellent but expensive. Our top 3 have figured out something Five Guys forgot. Value and quality are not mutually exclusive. Number 3. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. Freddy's is the name you hear from people who truly love their burgers, and it almost never fails to deliver. The steak burger is thin and crispy, cooked smash style before smash burger became a marketing buzzword. The patties have deeply caramelized edges. The custard is made fresh in small batches and is frankly better than anything in the milkshake category at any major chain. What makes Freddy's exceptional in 2026 is not just the food, it is the consistency. Location after location, the burger arrives with the same crispy edges, the same fresh toppings, the same quality custard. In a landscape where consistency has become a genuine luxury, Freddy's delivers it as standard. Pricing sits in the middle of the road. Not cheap like Culver's, not eye-watering like Five Guys. The quality justifies every dollar. The chain has been growing steadily through the South, Midwest, and Mountain West, building genuine loyalty in every new market it enters. If Freddy's has a weakness, it is reach. Like Culver's and Whataburger, it is not everywhere yet. But where it exists, it competes with anyone on this list and beats most of them. Freddy's is the quietly excellent third option, but our top 2 are the chains the entire industry benchmarks itself against. Number 2. Culver's here is the Midwest's open secret, and the rest of the country is finally, slowly figuring it out. The Butterburger is built on fresh, never frozen beef from family-owned Midwestern farms, cooked to order, and served on a bun that is lightly buttered and toasted before assembly. That buttered bun sounds like a small detail. It is not a small detail. It elevates the entire experience in a way that is immediately obvious from the first bite. Culver's has earned the highest American Customer Satisfaction Index score of any burger chain, tying with Chick-fil-A in Midwestern markets. A single Butterburger starts around $4.49. A double with the works is still under $8 in most locations. The pricing is honest, the ingredients are real, and the execution is consistent across the chain in a way that larger operations spend millions trying to replicate. The fresh-made frozen custard is the best dessert available at any fast food chain. The cheese curds are legitimately excellent. This is a restaurant where the entire menu is worth your time, not just the flagship item. The only reason Culver's sits at number 2 is availability. Currently in around 26 states, and primarily Midwestern, the rest of the country is genuinely missing out. Culver's is the best burger chain most of America has not yet tried, but the chain at number 1 has been the best for years, and in 2026 nothing has changed. Number 1. In-N-Out Burger. Some things do not need reinventing. In-N-Out Burger has been doing the same thing since 1948. Fresh, never frozen beef delivered directly to each location. No freezers, no microwaves. A menu so simple it fits on a napkin. A double-double animal style at a price that makes everything else on this list look like a moral failure by comparison. In Yelp's 2025 national rankings, In-N-Out was named the #1 burger chain in America. Across expert panels, chef surveys, and consumer satisfaction studies, the result is almost always the same. In-N-Out wins. Not because it is the flashiest option, not because it has the most ambitious ingredients, because it executes a simple thing perfectly, every single time, at a price that respects the people buying it. A full meal, a burger, fries, and a drink runs between $8 and $12. In a world where Shake Shack charges $22 and Five Guys charges $21 for the same components, that gap is staggering. And In-N-Out's quality is not a compromise to hit that price. It is a deliberate commitment. In December of 2025, In-N-Out opened its first Tennessee locations as part of a careful, deliberate eastward expansion. The lines were long. The reviews were ecstatic. In-N-Out does not do limited-time gimmicks. It does not announce dynamic pricing. It does not file for bankruptcy or close hundreds of locations or blame its workers for management failures. It just makes a great burger, charges a fair price, and treats the whole operation like a promise it intends to keep. That is why it has been #1 for decades, and in 2026, it is still #1. 16 chains, one clear winner, and a whole lot of cautionary tales in between. The gap between In-N-Out at #1 and Jack in the Box at #16 is not just about burger quality. It is about whether a company actually respects the person on the other side of the counter. The chains thriving in 2026 kept their promise. The ones closing hundreds of locations decided their customers were an afterthought. There is another video on your screen right now. Click it. You are going to want to see what we expose next.